to stop while moving in the downward direction? Do you feel heavier, lighter, or about the same? What do you think? Elevator starts to move in the downward direction. Would you feel heavier, lighter, or about the same? I think the answer to that question is straightforward. Take a look at this. So the elevator starts to move in the downward direction. Do you feel heavier, lighter, or about the same? It's going down, right? Guy weighs 240 pounds. So what happens? Boom, end up feeling lighter. All right, so just get 240 pounds. As soon as the elevator starts moving in the downward direction, he's going to end up feeling lighter. Why? Simple answer: inertia. Inertia. Your body has a tendency to retain its initial motion, right? Where does the body get its tendency to retain its initial motion from? It gets it from the mass. Mass is the measure of inertia. It's the measure of the tendency to retain initial motion. Inertia is also a resistance to change in motion. So the body's going to resist. The body's going to resist. It's not going to want to move. The mass, the bigger the mass is, the larger the resistance is. As a result, you end up seeing a deficit. You end up seeing a deficit on the scale. And so moving on to the next question. Suppose you're standing in a bathroom scale in an elevator. At the moment the cable snaps, how much do you weigh according to the scale? Right, so you're standing on a scale, bathroom scale. You're standing on a bathroom scale instead of elevator, and then the cable snaps. So how much do you up to weigh according to the scale? Let's take a look. All right, so you're inside an elevator, standing on a scale, the cable snaps. All right, so you're standing on a scale, the bathroom scale, the cable snaps. At the moment the cable snaps, what happens? Gravity takes over. So when gravity takes over, what do you suppose is going to happen? Everything is going to fall at the same rate. It's called free fall, motion under the influence of gravity. Everything is falling at the same rate. The person, elevator, scale, everything is falling at the same rate. So what that means is this person is going to become suspended with respect to the center of mass. This person is applying absolutely no force on the scale. In turn, the scale applies absolutely no force back on him. So the person is going to become weightless. The person is going to appear weightless. The person won't become weightless. The person will appear weightless. He's going to feel weightless. That's what's going to happen. It's free fall. When this free fall starts, as soon as the cable snaps, everything is going to accelerate at the same rate. The person becomes suspended with respect to the center of mass, and that's it. He's not going to apply any pressure on the scale. The scale is not going to apply any pressure back on it. So according to the scale, this person becomes weightless. And that's precisely what's going to happen. So question number 3. When the elevator starts moving in the upward direction, so what do we have? We got the elevator moving in the upward direction. Why do you feel heavier? When the elevator starts moving in the upward direction, why would you feel heavier? It's the same as the first question. When the elevator starts moving in the downward direction, do you feel heavier, lighter, about the same? Of course, you're going to end up feeling lighter because you got mass. Mass is inertia. It's the tendency to retain motion or resistance to change in motion. In this case, what's happening? The elevator starts moving in the upward direction. You will feel heavier. According to the scale, you will become heavier. The answer is the same because you got mass. You got mass. The amount of mass that you have is an indicator. The indicator of how much resistance you offer to change in motion, how much resistance that your body offers to acceleration. So that's what it means. So the bigger the mass is, the larger the resistance to acceleration is going to become. The larger the resistance to change in motion is going to become. As a result, what happens? Your body is not going to want to move. So on the scale, you will end up getting this added weight. Zoom recording. So question number 4, we actually spent more than an hour talking about it. Almost 2 hours, guys. This is known as the high rise syndrome, right? Cats falling more than 70 feet tend to survive with less severe injuries. So the cats, if they injure themselves, they're going to end up surviving with less severe injuries, despite the fact that those cats are moving faster than cats falling distances smaller than 70 feet. Okay, so the question is, how is that possible? And some of the time, cats wouldn't even injure themselves. Case in point, take a look at this cat. We've seen this during the lecture. This part of the lecture video. This is just about the way this cat is getting out. All right. So obviously the person getting a video because time and time again, this is what this cat does. Beautiful landing. And notice that the cat is just getting out. It's the only way this cat is getting out. Landing is going to be beautiful. There's a second cat there. Then it's chasing the Indians. All right. That's how it is done. As long as the distance is more than 70 feet, the cats tend to do better than distance is shorter than 70 feet. So the question is why? Answer to that question is straightforward because it's going to take 70 feet for the cat to reach its terminal velocity. Terminal velocity of a cat is about 60 miles per hour. Once the cat reaches its terminal velocity, the cat is going to stop accelerating. So what happens when the cat stops accelerating? There's no acceleration. When there's no acceleration, muscles are relaxed. All right, so when a cat hits the ground with relaxed muscles, they can absorb the impact so much better, meaning that with relaxed muscles, they're able to increase the impact and reduce the acceleration. So remember, acceleration is what kills you, what maims you, what breaks your bones. And so that's the answer that I was looking for. Next question. is related to the video shown in class. All right, guys, obviously it's shown in class. That's what it means. All right, for whatever the reason, if you were engaging in selective listening during the lecture, if you missed it, this was also in the videos online. All right, you were supposed to be watching this. So what do we have? We got a skydiver. His parachute gets tangled up, and he managed to survive impact at 50 miles per hour without any injuries. So how's that possible? All right, now this is not guesswork. We spent about 10 minutes talking about it, 5 to 10 minutes talking about it. What I'm looking for is how did it survive the impact? The short answer is somehow he was able to increase the impact time. What happens when you increase the impact time? What happens when you increase the impact time is you're able to reduce the acceleration. So the question is, how did he reduce his acceleration to an extent that he didn't even suffer any injuries? How did that come about? So the video that we were referring to is this one. So his parachute's tangled up. This guy's going down at roughly about 50 miles per hour. Then there are a couple of things that happen that helps him survive. Instead of landing on asphalt, he lands on grass. Okay, so what is the grass do? Increase the impact time. So that one is just by luck. Then the other thing that he does, just before impact, he knows the impact is about to happen. He lets his muscles go limp. All right, so limp muscles happens, you're able to increase the impact time. Then lastly, he gets his body parallel to the ground. And by getting his body parallel to the ground, he's able to disperse the impact force to a much larger surface area, thereby reducing the pressure on his body. All right, so three things, three factors. Number one, landing on grass increased the impact time. Number two, letting his muscles go limp. He was able to increase the impact time. Number three, took the impact force, dispersed it onto a larger surface area. Thereby, he was able to reduce the pressure in his body.